Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for the Super Sons Fortress of Attitude comic review of Superboy, not Superman, like Tom Taylor wants us to believe, son of Kal-El. And let's start off with first things first, jumping into the covers and its rating. As you can see, we've got our first cover on the left-hand side. And the second cover, the variant, on the right-hand side. And for both of these covers, I gave them a 7 out of 10. Now I'll move into the internal art. I will be using the variant cover to show some of the internal art around the beginning, middle and end. Now starting off with some art around the beginning. Personally, this art, how it started off in regards to the story, somewhat worked really well. I'll now move to another spot, moving to the middle where John is being made a political pawn for a certain writer. And we can't forget that villain, Jay Nakamura. And this art I really have to point out because this is terrible. And this, how it's done, is also going to affect the art rating. Like, if you look at the first one around Superman, it looks fine. We move on to John Samuel Kent. Since when is John Samuel Kent a twisted figure? Like, going this way. Alright, you can see where his feet are. You can see where his torso is. It's in the wrong place. Alright, he still could have been flying like his old man. And still be doing this with Jay. Like, crying out loud. He could have even flown him on his bloody back. Like he did with, Damian Wayne. I guess that doesn't happen in this case. So out of all, I think this is one of the worst pictures that are in here. Alright, now to move towards the end. Of course, we've got Superman. Also catching up with his son. And also Lois. And as usual, with this one-trick pony of Tom Taylor, bringing in his Injustice universe into the Superboy comic. So jumping into the art rating, I gave it a 6 out of 10. In other words, this thing lost points. A lot of points. Moving into the story. Now, has Tom Taylor improved in his storytelling? Let's find out. Did we get any comic references? No, not really. No comic references? Lose points. And it could probably do with some comic references right now. Especially, you could immediately connect this to the very first issue. In regards to time, about the only thing we got in relation to time was later. Very lazy of you, Tom. Very lazy. About the only thing we sort of did get was some locations. We got Metropolis. We got the Star Labs in Metropolis. We also got the police. The Metropolis police involved. We also got Smallville, Kent Farm, and of course, last but not least, Gamora. So there was a slight improvement, but does it help with the story and the storytelling? The cast being made up of Superboy, Superman, someone by the name of Faultline, who had been weaponized, who we know is weaponized by Bendix, Henry Bendix. We, of course, had Jay, who is no doubt related to Henry Bendix. And it's probably a cover name. Basic part of the story, Jay is basically a stalker of Lois Lane, even though it doesn't say that in particular, but his character does come off as a bit of a stalker. And Tom Taylor murders off Ma and Pa Kent. And that brings in the Injustice universe into this DC universe. And how does this affect the story rating? You can't murder off Ma and Pa Kent. Sorry, that loses points too. So, 5 out of 10. This story's rating is slipping. Yeah, it might have some fair things in it. I really enjoyed what happened at the beginning of the story, where you had both Superman and Superboy trying to save people from a collapsing building. That I thought was great. That I thought was good because it sort of gave the impression that maybe an earthquake happened. Of course, we end up finding out that it's connected to a person by the name of Faultline, who had been weaponized, was taken to Star Labs, and then towards the end of the story, Faultline is also used to destroy the Kent farm. And Jay happened to be there. A little bit coincidental. Or maybe in Tom Taylor's case, he was conspiring for it to happen. Well, we'll see you again for the next Super Sons Fortress of Attitude story, which will be Robin next issue. Issue 6.